So, I've played Rocket League for over 3,000 hours, and in that time, I may or may not have seen a handful of mistakes. And you know what they say, a hard worker learns from experience, and a smart worker learns from someone else's experience. So, if you want to be a smart worker, this is the video for you. But today, I've taken over 25 of those mistakes and made them into a nice little list. So with all that being said, I hereby present to you 29 mistakes you are likely making in Rocket League. So, let's dive into it. Mistake number 1, always booming. This is essentially when you hit the ball as hard as you can every time you can. Now, it might feel like hitting the ball as hard as you can is the most effective way to apply pressure, and there are times where it can be, but most of the time, you don't need to. Surveying your options, taking the space given, and controlling the ball are often much more effective ways to apply pressure to your opponent. Because now they can't just sit and wait for you to hit the ball to them, they have to react to you. And this means, especially in lower ranks, you're going to get a much better scoring chance than if you were to just slam the ball as hard as you could. And that leads us straight to mistake number 2, thinking 50s are complete luck. This is a mistake that will absolutely ruin how you think about the game because it makes you feel like you are just losing to luck, which is not true. And the name given by the community, 50-50s, is not helpful to this mentality. But you need to understand that 50s are something that you can control. They are almost always won by the player who hits closest to the center of the ball in relation to the other player, dodges through the ball, not around it, whoever carries the most momentum into the ball, and whoever hits the ball last. And yes, of course, it is much more nuanced than this, but for the sake of time, just keep in the back of your head that the player who does more of these techniques will often win the 50. Mistake number 3, playing the middle ground off kickoffs. What I mean by this is if you are second man for kickoffs, you either need to play defense or you need to push up for an aggressive play. A lot of the times people will drive up to this no man's land area where you never want to be because this puts you just far enough from the ball where you won't beat the guy pushing up for an aggressive play, and you will be too far from the net to make a meaningful attempt at a save. So when you see those numbers going down before the kickoff, have a plan and stick to it. So whether that be playing back, getting the boost and covering the net, or it be going up for an aggressive play, don't get caught in between. And that leads us right into mistake number 4. Your camera shake is still on. I know this is a gimme, but seriously, you should check. Because my friend with about 2,300 hours just recently figured out he still had it enabled. So, maybe go take a look. Mistake number 5. Not using Powerslide or Airroll for your recoveries. If you've ever watched a higher level of Rocket League, you will notice just how fast a player can go for the ball and be right back in the play 2 seconds later. And this is solely due to their good recoveries. Something that I see quite a lot of and don't hear a lot about is the thing you do right after you challenge. If I were to make a zoomorphic analogy here, I'd say think of your car as a cat. You should always be trying to land on your wheels. Anytime you challenge the ball, or try to make a play for that matter, you should always have an idea of how and where you are going to land. The moment you are no longer actively making a play, you should switch into landing mode. This is where you will air roll your car so your wheels are parallel with the surface you were trying to land on. And right before you do land, tap or hold Powerslide, depending on where you're trying to go, and this will ensure that you keep your momentum and you can get back to the play as soon as possible. And just something I want to mention really quick, holding Powerslide is not always necessary. Simply tapping Powerslide right as you land is enough to stop your wheels from grabbing the ground and killing your momentum. Mistake number 6, trying to play too fast. And since I just mentioned high level play, a lot of the advice people will get for playing at a high level is playing faster. Like, just play faster, bro. While this can be good advice, it is very ambiguous. So when all you get told is just play faster, you often end up cutting rotations, double committing, and just straight up ball chasing because that's faster, right? Well, obviously, not really. Quicker decisions, tempo control, and momentum-based mechanics like wave dashes are much more in line with what playing fast actually looks like. Because playing fast is more about when you try to play as fast as you can than it is trying to just go as fast as humanly possible all the time. Mistake number 7, only going for the 100 boost pad. This is a good segue from the last mistake because what happens whenever you play too fast is normally you use a little too much boost. And for some reason, even in the higher ranks in the game like Grand Champ, people still don't understand the value of a small boost pad. Not only do the small boost pads respawn more than twice as fast, there are also almost 5 times as many on the field. And the funny thing is, you'll often end up with less boost getting back to the play going for a big boost pad than if you would have just picked up 2 to 4 small pads and stayed relatively close. And this mistake is most prevalent off kickoffs. Normally the player that took the kickoff almost always goes for the middle boost, even if the ball is going right towards their net. They just think, teammates got it. I'm hungry. Even though there's a nice string of boost pads that lead right back to their net. So basically, the next time you think about going for that big boost pad, maybe think twice. Mistake number 8, always forfeiting against Smurfs. I know it can be very annoying to have a champ in your plat games, but try to think of it as a form of super training. Because when you do go against Smurfs, you are getting exposed to the pace of play you dream to be at. So try to take that and run with it. And yes, there will be times where it's not even playable, and those are okay to FF for the sake of keeping yourself sane. But there is also going to be times where you do stand a chance, so try to use that as the ultimate test of skill. Depending on their playstyle, it'll highlight different aspects of your game that you need to work on in order to rank up to their level. So just keep that in mind. Mistake number 9, always playing free play with unlimited boost. Now this might be something you are completely unfamiliar with, because I didn't even know it was something I could do until I hit about diamond. But it is the reason every time you play free play, you always feel so much faster than you do in the real game. And changing this option to standard is an absolute eye-opener. All of a sudden, free play feels hard. So if you often find yourself in the middle of a game running out of boost mid-aerial, consider messing with this option. Mistake number 10, never isolating a skill. This is one that gets a lot of players. Hopefully you have a warm-up, whether that be 3 training packs you like to run or a free play sequence that you just completely made up. There is something you likely do day in and day out to warm up, and if you don't, you definitely should. But whenever you're trying to train and not just get yourself warmed up, you need to train a certain skill intently. Too many times do I see players trying to train 4 different things at one time. One minute they're going to try to be learning how to do a musty flick. The next minute they're trying to do air dribbles. While it is fun to try to learn new things all the time, you're not going to get very far with them, because narrowing your focus to just one mechanic is always going to be easier than trying to learn 3 at one time. Mistake number 11, not rotating back post. Now, I can almost guarantee if you've watched any YouTube video on this game, you've heard of this one. But the reason I've decided to keep it in is because it is the gold standard for Rocket League defense. Whenever you're in your half of the field and you are second man, always rotate around to the post farthest from the ball. This gives you the optimal position to make a save given any situation. Now, even though this is something that is very easily implemented into your gameplay, it's going to take a lot of deliberate focus to get it to click subconsciously. But it is absolutely worth it, because this is one of the most valuable defensive mechanics you can learn in this game. Mistake number 12, you aren't subscribed to Bread3 on YouTube. Pretty please. Jokes aside, mistake number 12 is air rolling the wrong direction when shooting. This is mainly a mistake for people that use directional air roll a lot, or if you just don't know how to shoot. No hate. What I'll often see, even at my rank of Grand Champ, is if someone is to the right of the net and they're trying to shoot the ball in, they will air roll to the left, which is not what you want to do. So, if you want to get the most power and control out of your shots, you need to hit the ball with the front corners of your car. For example, say you're shooting on net and you're on the right side of the field. When you jump up for your shot, you need to air roll clockwise and diagonal flip to the left. This will ensure that the front left corner of your car is hitting the ball, giving it the most power and accuracy. Now say you're on the left side of the field and you're shooting the ball to the right. You guessed it, you need to jump up, roll your car counterclockwise, and flip diagonally to the right. This will ensure that the front right corner of your car hits the ball. Mistake number 13, playing far too aggressive as last man. If you are the last man back, meaning your teammate has committed to a challenge and hasn't rotated behind you yet, then you are the last line of defense. So playing overly aggressive here is an extremely risky game. The only real option for you if you're going to play this way is to challenge fast and hope for a clean beat or a good 50. And if you end up getting beat, or the 50 is at all not favorable, you are now putting your teammate in a 2v1 and he is going to be fighting for his life. Or he simply just hasn't made it back yet, and it's in your net. So with all that being said, when your teammate has committed to a challenge and it is not entirely clear you will beat the opponent to this ball, instead take some space, wait for your teammate to recover, and then you can challenge. And with that, that brings us to kind of technically the halfway point. Mistake number 14. You switch to Carcam at the worst times. And what I mean by worst times is when something unpredictable is about to happen. Something like a 50, a pass, or a shot attempt are all great examples here. Most of the time, you're going to use Carcam to figure out where the boost is, because to be honest, it's a little confusing. But what you never want to do is to switch during the aforementioned unpredictable events. Say you switch out of Ballcam right before a 50 happens. What you are doing is essentially putting yourself in the dark, because you have no idea what can happen. And when you switch back to Ballcam, the ball might just be in your net. So the key takeaway here is to be very deliberate when you switch between ball and Carcam, and when you do, make it very brief. And just to be crystal clear, this is not for someone who's trying to dribble with the ball. This is solely for somebody who is not part of the play and is trying to remain aware of what is going on. Mistake number 15. You expect far too much from your teammate. Your teammates won't hit everything. That's just a reality we're gonna have to live with. And to make it less rage-inducing when they do miss, never expect more from them than you do from yourself. So with that being said, if you struggle with off-the-wall aerials, then there's a good chance your teammate will too. So lighten up a little bit. You are, after all, in the same rank. Mistake number 16, not training backward saves. Most of the time when you train any mechanic in Rocket League, you train facing forward. And this makes sense, since after all, you are normally driving forward. But there is a time when you will end up backwards most often, and that is whenever you are defending the ball from very close to the front of your net. Attacking players are of course going to try to dribble the ball around you, force the ball up the wall, or go for a pass into the front of the net. And being able to control your car backwards is going to be the difference between getting scored on and making a pretty good save. Mistake 17, not watching your own replays. For some reason, a lot of people think they're too good for watching their own replays, and I'm here to tell you with confidence that you are absolutely not, because I can almost guarantee you there are mistakes that you are making that you just don't notice whenever you are in an actual game. And if your goal is to rank up as fast as possible, this is what you need to do. One of the big misconceptions of replay reviews is thinking you need to watch 15 replays in order to learn what mistakes you're making, and that's simply not true. The easy way to do this is to just take one losing replay from your session and try to identify things that you did wrong and what you can do to fix it. Not only does this give you seriously actionable training, it also helps you just be more aware of not making that mistake again in game. Mistake number 18, you try to aerial too fast off the sidewall. You may have had the very annoying experience of trying to jump off the sidewall, but you get a very weak jump, or simply nothing happens. And although it is extremely annoying, it is very easy to fix. Every arena in Rocket League has some sort of divide between ramp and wall, and we could take advantage of this by simply imagining this joint as an imaginary barrier that wraps all the way around the map. And anytime you are below this barrier, you can't jump. The only time you can jump is if your back tires pass this barrier. This is a great way to prevent you from getting that weird and awkward jump that kind of ruins everything. And also, it is worth mentioning that something similar will happen if you try to jump around the curves of the back walls. So just keep that in mind. Mistake 19, you leave on alt chat. I can tell you anecdotally that almost nothing good happens in alt chat, because if you're the kind of person that wants to type out all your grievances on alt chat and just air your teammate out, I'd highly consider completely disabling the chat altogether. Not only will this more than triple your chances of having your teammate not troll, it also just makes the world a little bit better of a place. And who doesn't want that, you know? But if you do have the temperament of a Buddhist monk, then sure, go ahead and keep alt chat on. Mistake number 20, you don't play any ones. And you might be thinking, who even cares? I just like playing the game mode I have the most fun in, or I just play 2s or 3s because I play with my friends. And while these are completely valid reasons to have not played ones before, it is a big mistake when trying to improve. And this is because ones is one of the most unforgiving and punishing game modes in the game. To really put that into perspective for you, the average Grand Champ in 2s will only be about Diamond 3 or Champ 1 in ones. That rank disparity is humongous. Playing ones will highlight every single mistake you make, and there's no one you can blame, there is no fallback, it is entirely on you. This kind of gameplay will force your mechanics to improve simply by necessity. And this doesn't mean you have to become a ones main, because if you did, let's be real, you would probably break a lot of controllers. And just playing about 2 to 4 ones games before you play your regular game mode, whatever that be, will be enough. Mistake number 21, you only train flashy mechanics. Who doesn't love a good triple flip reset in ranked? Or a musty flick across the field that goes bar down and in? I couldn't tell you a single person that doesn't like those, but a lot of players make the mistake of trying to learn something way out of the league just because it's cool. And I get that, but if you can't consistently hit the net when you try to shoot, you probably shouldn't be training how to do a ceiling shot. If you instead focus that time by getting those basic mechanics down tight, you'd be surprised how much you can accomplish with just those simple moves. Because learning basic aerial car control is going to be way more effective in the long run than learning how to do a double flip reset. Mistake number 22. You always wait for that pass. If your team is attacking and your teammate has the ball somewhere near the sidewall, you'll likely be somewhere around here. While this is where you want to be, people will make the mistake of just sitting and waiting indefinitely for the pass. You instead want to keep your momentum up and stay in that ready position, because anything can really happen here. And yes, your teammate might get that pass through, but he also might just completely lose that challenge. And if in that situation, you are still completely committed to the pass, you are entirely screwed. You always want to be moving to try to predict the play. And if that means backing off just because it doesn't feel right, so be it. The pass may still come, but it's not worth risking a surefire goal against just to get a potential shot on net. Mistake number 23, you keep boosting even though you're supersonic. Contrary to what honestly logically makes sense, you don't need to hold down boost in order to stay supersonic. Once you hit the threshold to go supersonic speed, you don't need to hold down boost anymore. As long as you don't turn, you will maintain that effect. So don't waste that precious boost you worked so hard for. Mistake number 24, not using the backboard. The backboard is often super underrated, as it allows you to still make a play even though you're unable to get a shot off without it being saved. So using the backboard as a way to pass to your teammate is always going to be better than just giving your opponent an easy save. And yes, this will take a little bit of trust in your teammate, but you'd want them to trust you, so. And another great way to use the backboard, especially on offense, is to just drive the ball up it, as this can be super disorienting for the defender in the net, especially in the lower ranks if they're not super confident with their aerials yet, because their camera is now just going to be looking straight up. Mistake number 25. staying in Ballcam on defense. If you find yourself to be the defender I was just talking about 2 seconds ago in the previous mistake, this is for you. So when the ball is either up on your backboard or going from one post to another, you will often lose where your opponents are. And it's kind of hard to make a save if you can't see who is going to shoot the ball. So a great habit to build is if a pass is coming off the backboard or going across the net, instead of staying in Ballcam and getting super confused, switch to Carcam and try to find the opponent that is going to shoot the ball. This will give you a much greater chance of actually making the save because you won't be so disoriented. Mistake number 26, overextending off a possession change. A possession change is exactly what it sounds like. Whenever ball possession goes from one team to another. For this mistake specifically, we're going to be talking about whenever you go from defense to offense. When your team gains possession of the ball and you're the one without the ball, you'll often want to push up field looking for a pass. And doing this too aggressively can spell certain doom for you, because if you push up too far and the opponents recognize this, all they have to do is force a 50 and it's pretty much over. So a good rule of thumb to follow here is to almost never lead your teammate off the offensive rush. Always try to shadow behind them and stay in an area that you can always catch the ball in case they fumble it. Mistake number 27, thinking hours equal rank. You've probably seen the charts that show the average amount of hours it takes to get a certain rank, and taking these numbers at face value can really mess with your head. You'll end up believing you are somehow worse than everyone just because you have 200 hours more than you should. Everyone will progress differently in this game, and just because you don't have the exact amount of hours that you think you should doesn't mean you suck. No one Rocket League player's journey is identical. Some players will hit Diamond with just 500 hours, some won't hit it till about 1500, so just go easy on yourself. Mistake number 28, you can't stop backflipping. This is something that everyone, if you play the game for long enough, will struggle with. And it is extremely frustrating when it happens, but there is potentially a reason for it. You see, there is a setting called Dodge Dead Zone, and odds are, if you feel like you are backflipping way too often, this is likely the culprit. Go into your controller settings, find the Dodge Dead Zone slider, and if it's anything under 0.75, then congrats. You've just found the reason you can't stop backflipping. Change this to 0.75 or a little bit above, and you should see instantaneous improvement. And finally, mistake number 29, being too scared to try new mechanics in ranked. If you've been putting a lot of time into learning a new mechanic, don't be afraid to use it. Whether it be ground flicks, sidewall aerials, or maybe for you more advanced people, ceiling shots. I far too often see people training mechanics that they simply never use, and it's all because they're scared they're not going to do it right. And funnily enough, having this perfectionist mentality about doing new mechanics in ranked is exactly why you can't do the new mechanics in ranked. Never exposing yourself to that in-game feel of having low boost, having pressure of an opponent pushing up on you is the exact reason you feel scared. You need to get in the mindset of forcing yourself to go for the things that you believe you can't hit. This is how you convert all those crazy free play shots you can hit into something that's actually tangible. But with that, the video comes to an end. So if you guys did find this video in the slightest way helpful, I would really appreciate it if you went down below and hit all the buttons. You know which ones I'm talking about. And go ahead and comment the mistake you found most helpful. All right, see y'all later.